evening, everybody. Fresh in from Alabama. We welcome you to coverage on the LSR TV and Searing Sports Network. Yes, if I look tired and drained, it has been a long 72 hours. And after driving 9 hours, I get to see the face of Samuel Dyer. Samuel, what's up, buddy? I'm Wesley Outland, and we're ready for the playoffs tonight at Iowa Speedway. I'm trying to give a proper introduction, Samuel, but I'm here. What can I say? I'm here, my friend. How are you?
I'm here as well. You get to see my face. Hopefully, you're enjoying it. But I'm excited. It's Iowa
You
here,
haven't
playoff
shaved yet. That's
racing.
the thing. What's up with the whole
I,
Duck
I'm.
Dynasty thing? Have you shaved
I
yet?
no. This is not Duck Dynasty. This is the most trimmed up I've ever actually kept my beard, just because I know I'm gonna be on camera. So I keep it trim. I think about it, but no. If it was going Duck Dynasty, this you would not see my collar. That beard be down here. But I'm excited for tonight.
Gotcha.
Iowa. Third race of the round of 12, and here for the Cup Series, you've got to in of Lake Peterson and also that of Chris White. And you got a bunch of other drivers that are looking hungry to be racing here at Iowa. Short track racing, first short track of the playoffs. Excited to see how the drivers can attack here tonight.
This is round number 3. We welcome you to coverage on LSR TV and the Community Radio Network. And that's why I was looking down real quick to make sure the receiver was working, and it is not. Play! Anyhow, we're back online now. Sorry about that. But what I was trying to say was that this is all coming around before we ever go green. We're ready for the Iowa 150. And Samuel, in addition to this, buddy, this is race number 3 of the playoffs. You got 2 more chances tonight and tomorrow, next week in Atlanta, for drivers, of course, like, we've seen Lake Peterson do it. We saw Sean Brightsman do it last week. These guys, we know how strong they are. They've punched their ticket into the next round for a championship. Question is, who will step up tonight, and could we see a driver at the bottom of the barrel punch their ticket into the round of 8 after this evening?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the stats, you can tell and see Caden Anderson as well as that of Stephen Paulson, 2 drivers that are kind of in must-win scenarios that are now kind of in the hole trying to dig themselves out. Caden Anderson doing the best that he can, and really tonight could be the option for him to possibly get a win because he has shown that he's got speed at short tracks.
All right, Samuel, who's your pick, buddy? Who's it going to be tonight to win at Iowa?
I had a ton of different options that I was throwing out. I was thinking maybe Jeff Stabnow after dominating at ARCA. Thought maybe Caden Anderson. And it just kept on swirling around. I even thought about Dan West Jr. But my pick that I finally thought about sticking with, you'll see it here, but it was certainly a while throwing out. But I chose Dan West Jr. as my pick. He got the pole last year in the Cup Series. And honestly, I feel like Dan has shown that he's got pace, but this go around, I think for tonight, it's going to be his toughest task. This is really a stretch for a win, but I think that Dan West Jr. could possibly be able to stretch this one out and get a win to lock himself into the next round.
Danny boy, the pipes are calling. I actually thought as well, Samuel, about picking Dan West Jr., but I have to go with this guy. Tonight's the night for Caden Anderson. He's my pick, and let me explain to you why. He won the Northwest Super Late Model Tour event here at Iowa back last year that we covered on LSR TV and CRN. He's also showed talent in both the trucks and the Cup in the past here. I believe tonight, Caden Anderson, with his back against the wall after coming back from a 1-week suspension last week, struggling, he turns it around here tonight. He wins at Iowa. He punches himself in to the round of 8 to race for a championship and get right back into contention. So the man out of Yakima, Washington is who Westman, yeah, I said it, Westman is riding with. When we come back, we'll look at the point standings into the playoffs for Iowa tonight. We've got your sawblade.com weather conditions. We have your Race on Texas 411. And the course coming soon, the Team 126 Racing starting lineup. That's a lot of sponsors. And if you want to be a sponsor, contact LSR TV as well at livesimracing.com. He is Samuel Dyer. I did it right this time. I just got to work on the poke a little bit, Samuel. And he is Samuel Dyer. I am Wesley Outland, and we are back in a moment from Iowa Speedway. Stick around.
An automobile purchase shouldn't be hard. The hardest part for the consumer in the whole process should be selecting the vehicle. We have the online credit application. We can bring the car to you to see it, to test drive it, to deliver it. We have all the tools in place, and we've had them in place for a long time. I just think now we've perfected it. It's become part of our culture. We've, kind of taken it to the next level. It is easy, and it should be easy, and it should be fun, and it shouldn't take a whole lot of time.
Every time I see that commercial, Kevin Smith makes me want to drive to Washington State or fly to Washington, Samuel, just to buy a car from Tom
Get a
Mitchell
car.
Automotive Group.
Oh man, every single time. I mean, there's so many different commercials that we always show from Tom Denchel, but every single one just makes you want to get a new car. And it's great that they've got inventory currently right now if you want to get anything from the Tom Denchel Auto Group.
Yeah, we might be going through the tire apocalypse in the real motorsports world and a shortage of parts, but one thing for certain, they don't got no problem selling you a new or used car or truck. So there you go. All right. Welcome back to coverage we're here at, where are we? Iowa. We're at Iowa Speedway. We're at the Iowa Speedway. And this is a track that's 7/8 of a mile. You can drive it like a super speedway, but it's a short track in general. Race on Texas 411. We're about 4 minutes away from gridding. 30-minute practice done. 2-lap qualifying ongoing right now. And tonight's race is not 150 laps. They make me look bad again. It's 165 laps the distance. 100. And that's an odd number. Ain't that an odd number, Samuel? 165
It certainly
laps?
is. It certainly is a weird number. But honestly, the whole entire league as a whole, throughout the whole entire week, they've been talking about when and how many laps did they want to run. There was actually thrown out to add it up to 215 laps at one moment. It was down to 140 for a quick second, and finally they settled for 165. And it certainly, I mean, we saw it. We got a little preview of this race Friday night for the ARCA Series. They were able to go clean and green all the way through for 165 laps. But for this Cup Series, we'll see if they can do the same thing.
Let's take a look at the point standings. Moving. Oh, my bad. Hashtag fake news. Sawblade.com weather conditions first. Don't forget about the weather, fool, for you show me the points. 71 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. We're under the lights. It is nighttime. Samuel, there is not going to be that transition from day to night. We're already at nighttime. And the track temp and the ambient temp are very close together virtually. What's that going to be like tonight for these guys?
This is the perfect scenario for these drivers. It is at the prime temp for the drivers to have enough grip on the racetrack, and when their tires finally get up to their warm temp after a lap or two, they're going to be able to attack this course at full song, utilizing every single lane here, low line, middle, all the way up to the wall. We're going to see it all here tonight, and I think the only thing we really got to worry about is the wind. With it kind of swirling, I mean, we saw it at 8, it dropped down to 6 miles per hour. That could be something that could influence these drivers on the straightaways, but currently right now, weather is perfect for these drivers here tonight.
All right, so there you go. That's the way it's going to be. Y'all, thank you, out of nowhere. Thank you for the points. Here's your points. Presented by as well, sawblade.com. No correction, it's now Race on Texas. Race on Texas point standings. You see Lake Peterson. And by the way, I think I said Sean Brightsman. That's hashtag fake news. It's Chris White that won last week. And by the way, he was my pick to win at Indianapolis last week. So, Samuel, Lake Peterson, Chris White, we know they're in the round of 8 automatically. Sean Brightsman, I'm pretty sure he's going to go through. The question is, will these other guys hold on, or will we see somebody emerge from behind 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, like Jeff Stabnow, Tyler King, truck winner the other night at Indianapolis, Caden Anderson, Stephen Paulus, and these guys are on the bubble.
Yeah, looking at, some of those drivers and where they are lying right now, like Sean Brightsman and Ryan Bloom, they're looking great points-wise. The only thing that could hurt them is if they have a slip-up here, finish in last place, and just have a complete collapse. That is the only way they don't move on to the next round. But the drivers that are right at the bubble, like a BJ Tidgerick, Jeff Stabnow, Tyler King, Those drivers are going to be hunting and hounding against one another to see who can point their way in, while Caden Anderson as well as Stephen Paulson, which, looking at the leaderboard, Paulson going to be missing another race here tonight. So if Paulson shows up next week, he is going to be in a, for sure, must-win scenario. But Caden Anderson on the other side, Caden Anderson has another solid run today. He could set him up to possibly point his way in going into Atlanta next week.
So, 30 seconds. Are you ready? There's a look at Iowa Speedway. This is going to be an exciting race. This track is 2 and 3 wide as a premium. I think we're going to, I'll tell you honestly, Samuel, I believe this is probably going to be one of the most exciting races this year in the playoffs right here tonight at Iowa Speedway. If you like short track racing, but you like also these drivers driving wide open, this is the place, my friend, right here. Your final thought.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing something very similar to last week. We saw last week for the Indianapolis Oval, where the ARCA Series went clean and green all the way through. It was the Cup and the Truck side of things, though, where people got mixy, felt like they needed to race a lot more aggressive. And I'm expecting a very similar taste of racing here tonight. Aggressive racing, might be seeing a lot more cautions being bubbled up throughout this field, but it is going to be great racing at the end.
We're ready. We hope you are as well. Here is your team 126 Racing starting lineup as the field is beginning to grid. And how about that new music? Justin Yee. Let's see what the B man can do. The 66, part of the B clan with Lake Peterson. He's on the pole. Kevin Smith. Oh yeah, he won a truck race in the Northwest at Indy on the road course a few weeks ago. We'll see what he can do. He's been really improved the last couple of weeks. Row 1. Row number 2, defending Cup Series champion and the man that's third on the points. He's also going to be our in-race reporter tonight, Sean Brightsman. To the outside, Stephen O'Hare in the 41 machine. Row number 3, we'll find Ryan Bloom. Ryan Bloom in the 25 to the outside. Razzle Dazzle's ready. Cole Raz in the number 10. Row number 4 on the grid, Caden Anderson, my pick from Yakima, Washington, the 37. To the outside, Darlington winner of last year, B.J. Tidrick in the number 72. Rounded out your top 10 in Iowa, Jeff Stabnow, ARCA winner on Friday night. Can he finally break through with a win for the first time this year and go to the round of 8? He's on the outside looking in the points. To the outside, it's Clifford. Toby Ritters in the 23.
In row number 6, we find our Indianapolis Oval winner driver that's locked into the next round, Chris White. To his outside, you find my pick, Dan West Jr. in the 55. That's looking for a solid day here today, 7th in the points coming into this Iowa race. As we move back to row number 7, we find John Ottenbacher in the 89 with Tyler King from Beaver State Racing in the 21 to the outside of row number 7. Row number 8, going to be finding Bryce Beatty in the 70 with that of Eric Cheney in the 76. Going to be back here in 8th place. Eric Cheney wondering how much speed will this 76 machine have. Can he move forward? As drivers are starting to move forward back to row number 9, we find Ray Fournier as well as that of Aaron Cooper in the 71. And finishing out the rest of our leaderboard, going to be that of Judd Wakefield and Frank Harris. Got to be those drivers, as it looks like Ray in the 26. If he is going to start, it's going to be from pit road.
There's the lineup. Yeah, gonna be fun. A time or two, we will grab a word with our in-race reporter, Sean Brightsman. Let's try to see if we can grab him real quickly before the drop of the green flag. Pokey, 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 Pokemon. No, we're not promoting them. Pikachu is mad at me. We'll try to get a hold of Sean Brightsman here under caution, as we were trying to get him as our in-race reporter. And by the way, that's hashtag fake news. He is our in-race reporter. We just got to give him a little bit more quicker availability to contact him. So we're ready to go. Justin Yee, Indy Yeet Me entry. Remember Talladega Nights with the Tiger? Speaking of Talladega, they're going to be there. NASCAR, Talladega, final race in the round of 12 this weekend. Yeah. And the Tiger is off of that car. Yee and Kevin Smith on the front row. We are ready for the start. Here they come. It's a track that races like a super speedway, but it is a short track. Iowa Speedway in the cornfields of the heartland of America. Here they come to the firebox. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race, or will we not?
Oh,
trouble?
no.
Ryan Bloom and Jeff Stabnow on the start.
Oh.
Got into Tyler King on the green flag. Calamity. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Well, Wesley, we don't have a race just yet. As your Pulse Poppers instant replay,
that.
all starts
I like
off
it.
with Ryan Bloom spinning his tires on the start, and everyone else clogged up and nowhere to go. Initially,
Wow.
Kate Anderson, Jeff Stabnow, and Tyler King getting the worst of it, getting shoved in and then locked in the fence. He's the 24.
I would love to interview or get the in-car audio on Jeff Stabnow right now. This roller coaster bad luck season car crash continues for the Billings, Montana native. Off the schneid, he couldn't even get away from the start without crashing. And it's all because of the guy in front of him. Man, oh man.
Polar opposite type of a race for for that of Jeff Stabnow. Stabnow, one of the drivers that dominated Friday night in the ARCA series, getting his first win of this whole entire year for this 24 team, and finally able to notch that, but immediately back into the Cup Series. The bad luck, bad omen, it hits that of Jeff Stabnow.
My goodness, man, oh man, as we're under the yellow flag here. A multi-car accident. You saw what happened where Vining nudged the back of Ryan Bloom. Sean Brightsman driving down below the bottom of the apron. What is he doing? Well, we know he's going to connect with us right now because he is our live in-race reporter. Let's go to the 46 of Sean Brightsman. Sean, you got a copy, bud?
I got you.
Why are you driving below the apron under caution?
There was just a couple adjustments I had to make right there, and we had to dial in some brake bias, and I was looking at the cockpit.
I got you. So you're on the cockpit, and we are here with Sean Brightsman on board. Are we going to go live on camera with you, or is this just for in-race reporting? Let's go live on camera with Sean Brightsman for people that might not know. This is just some of the new cool features that we are working on. This is just some of the new cool features that we are working on as we are under the yellow flag. We'll grab a word with our in-race reporter a time or two. And that is the driver originally out of Billings, Montana. Now, yes. Oh, there you go. Sorry about that. Turn your camera on, Wesley. My bad. Sean Brightsman, we got to brighten up your life a little bit, buddy, but how's it going?
There we go. It's going great. We got 200 feet.
Well, what do you think Iowa's going to be like tonight, Sean?
I didn't think it was going to be a wreck on the start. I was hoping we could go green a little bit to start the race, but I don't have many laps. I'm learning as we go, trying to get the car dialed in a little bit, kind of see what it's going to do in the long run, save those tires, all that sort of thing. So we're the tires are going to last longer under pacing, so I guess that's a good thing.
You are Samuel's brother from another mother with the whole beard thing going on. I never would have imagined you looked like that, Sean Brightsman.
Yeah, a lot of people are surprised by the beard, but, the beard just works. And, if the wife likes the beard stays. You don't get rid of it.
I heard that. Samuel, you got anything for Sean Brightsman over here in the 46, our in-race reporter tonight in Iowa?
Well, Sean, I know we're getting ready to go green once again, but what is some of the things that you're going to be focusing on in these first couple of laps?
The big thing is giving space. I'm trying to finish the race, and in order to finish the race, you don't want to get caught up with anything that's going on around you. You just kind of want to ride your time, especially here on lap 6 of 165. So.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is what Sean Brightsman looks like and now sounds like. Thank you, buddy. Good luck. Get back to work, and don't let that beard itch you too much, Sean. Sean Brightsman. There you go. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll check in with him a time or two. All right, we're getting ready to go for a restart with Justin Yee, Kevin Smith on the front row. Several laps in, under caution after a multi-car accident to get things kicked off here. Pace car is in. Take number 2 of the Iowa 165 back underway here at Iowa Speedway. And quickly, Samuel, it is Justin Yee pulling away from everybody as Judd Wakefield having a little problem there for a moment.
Well, once again, tires being an issue on the restarts. It's going to be something to watch out for because of the cooler temperatures. Drivers are going to have a hard time making sure that those tires are heated up. So when you get on the throttle to start on these restarts, you can get going immediately. But right now, top 5, all single filed out.
This race underway down the back straightaway, about to go 3 wide. Kevin Smith down to the bottom. Up on the inside to the outside is Justin Yee. While that goes on, you've also got Cole Raz along with Sean Brightsman right there. As there's Kevin Smith staying down to the bottom. Yee, Smith, Brightsman. And Stabnow has crashed in the bottom of the pit return road. This is not in the pits. This is like a little make-do drag strip, if you will, in the grass. Jeff Stabnow's night has just been chaotic. Watch this, MD.
It's just been a meltdown. Coming out of turn number 4, and hard contact in front of him. That was Eric Cheney, who then gets into Jeff Stabnow, and his bad luck just continues on. Luckily, still on the lead lap is Jeff Stabnow, but he's got a lot of work and hoping that a caution comes here early and probably as quick as possible. You'd like more as we're watching the battling that's going on for 8th and 7th place.
Darn you, Big Bird. 11 in of 165. That's probably what Jeff Stabnow's thinking right now. As right now we watch BJ Tidrick battling with the 70 machine of Beatty's car. Got LSR TV on the side of that car now, along with Dan West Jr. Dan West Jr. no longer in red, white, and blue. He's going black and green. Not black and yellow, but black and green. Look at that. Very standout colors there, for sure, Samuel.
Yeah, both that of Dan West Jr. and Devin West kind of swapped up the colors last week in the Cup Series, and, you know, it's really defined. It's super easy to tell which car is which with how bright that green is, and for that of Dan West Jr., going to try to utilize this new scheme, maybe get a little bit of reassurance and re-energize himself to start running well, and now going to be in 8th place, trying to get by that of BJ Tidrick, as well as Bryce Beatty and Chris White battling strong. And you're kind of seeing the 2 different lines that I touched on earlier on how this track really use any lane you want at this course to find speed. Chris White deciding to go extremely low, while a couple of other drivers thinking about the middle groove as Bryce Beatty just self.
Look at this gaggle of traffic going at it there. 3 cars. Tidrick up the outside. Here comes West as well. And on the bottom, Chris White, winner last week at Indy on the big speedway. Lake Peterson won at the road course. And for 2 weeks now, Samuel, he's nowhere to be found. But guess what? It doesn't matter. He's already in the round of 8 after Atlanta.
Yeah, that is the biggest thing. It's getting the win, so you're locked into the next round. And for Lake Peterson, he might show up next week. The mile and a half's also seen a lot of speed from the 0-9. But like I said, here tonight, no Lake Peterson. It's just Chris White. That is the only driver that is locked in for sure going to the next round racing here tonight.
Understanding that it is a stormy night in Wichita Falls, Texas at the LSR TV Rocket Media Production Studio. Eddie Rabbit is visiting the production studio singing I Love a Rainy Night. And it's storming cray-cray over there. So if you're noticing some ink and blinking going on, that is because of the National Weather Service calling for a internet weather warning. No, he stays protected over there.
Yeah, luckily we're hoping that the weather will clear up so that we can get to see all this amazing action without any issues popping up currently, as we're watching the great battling that's going on for second back to fourth place, as we're seeing Danica Smith, Sean Bridesman, and Cole Raz keeping it close, as well as Justin Yee just in front of them. And soon, if can't get up to speed quick enough, that of Jeff Stabnow might be the next driver to be caught here in the next he's about 5 seconds ahead, as you can see where the 24 is to our leaders. Jeff Stabnow in a very tough situation. You see on our ticker, he's in red, meaning that he is outside of our top 8 if the points were to end currently. As you can see, green means for Chris White, he's already going to be advancing because of his win. Drivers in blue inside of the top 8. He came in 9th in points, and he was only 6 points out from making it in. The driver he was going to have to challenge and make sure he was in front of was BJ Tidrick. But for Jeff Stabnow, this has got to be frustrating, being all the way back in 19th position and really not having a fighting chance currently after having the contact with Eric Cheney at the restart of this race.
And he's 9th. He's in the top 10 in the points, 9th right now. Only the top 8 will advance to the championship after Atlanta. And he's already on the outside looking in. The ARCA winner, by the way, on Friday night. So he finally got off the schneid and got an ARCA Northwest win. But obviously he wants to win where it counts the most here on the Northwest Cup and Truck Series. By the way, Wednesday night, same time, different day, we'll have coverage from Iowa for the trucks. LSR TV and Community Radio Network. Don't forget CRN back in the air tomorrow afternoon, 5:30 Eastern time, coverage of Corinth Holder Pirates. Arr! Taking on the Clayton Comets in volleyball. It'll all kick off for Bruce Barrett and myself beginning at 5:15 at We Are CRN and the Community Radio Network. We're at lap 24 of 165. And right now, Kevin Smith under attack by Cole Raz. You know, Samuel, Cole Raz has changed up his car colors a little bit here this week as well.
Yeah, changing it to this red color. And Cole Raz, I think coming into this race, was kind of one of those other drivers I was touching on that, like, there was just a giant list of possibilities of drivers winning. Cole Raz was on that list as well, as now more battling going back for 8th place. Chris White as well as BJ Tidrick keeping it close with one another. And I went back and I was rewatching last season's Iowa race. BJ Tidrick, one of those drivers that showed a lot of pace. And I think for BJ, this playoffs is when we're going to be seeing the 72 really shine for himself. Still searching for his first win. And I'm curious to see what this 72 team is going to do for these next couple of rounds as BJ comes in 8th in points and with a shot to possibly move on to the round of 8.
Tidrick under attack inside. Chris White there. The Verizon Ford battling now the 83 machine on the bottom. Chris White, winner last week at the Indy Speedway round track. There is also Toby Ritters. Ritters is up to 10th. In the 23, the Budweiser King of Beers machine. Yee, Breitzman, Raz, Smith, and Anderson. O'Hare, West, Tidrick, White, and Ritters. Currently your top 10. Flip-flop those positions in the back.
Still side-by-side racing. Chris White, BJ Tidrick just can't get away from one another, and kind of just showing the advantages and disadvantages of both lanes that are being run right now. The 72, BJ Titrick, able to defend so well on the outside because he's able to get on the throttle sooner and get a better launch out of these corners. It's keeping him side by side with the 83. And for Chris White, he's getting a much better entry in center point of the corner. It's on the exit. We're just seeing the dueling truly going on between these two drivers. But as the run continues on, the driver you got to be concerned about is BJ Titrick. He's getting closer and closer to that outside wall on the exit. Got to be careful, especially with trying to pinch and defend over that of Chris White as he finally makes the pass confirmed. Wants to make sure he doesn't get into that outside wall.
We're having blinking issues, flashing coming up on the screen. Remember, that is because of the weather. The weather is causing a massive delay on the broadcast. We apologize. We will stay on the air as best as we can. If it gets any worse, then we might have to come up with some type of other change. But right now, we're trying our best to keep it going here. Samuel, we're watching Kevin Smith come after now Cole Raz. This is for the top 3 podium as they work their way out of turn 3.
Yeah, Kevin Smith qualified well, got second place during qualifying. And for Kevin Smith, having recently is making sure that his tires are at its peak. He has been very known for using up his grip and getting a little bit too antsy as he got close. Almost brushed the outside wall there, was the 00. That's going to be the biggest issue to watch out for, as well as he's slowly being caught by that of Caden Anderson in the 37, who's been doing a great job just keeping his way moving forward up 2 positions, is Caden Anderson in the 37, who just needs to have a solid finish here tonight and could have a possible chance to point his way in next week at Atlanta.
Field works off turn 4. Justin Yee out in front. There's the 37 machine of Caden Anderson. And remember, Caden Anderson was the one that got into the back of the brake check 25 of the wheel spin tires of Ryan Bloom. And in doing so, Samuel, caused a massive crash. Okay, that's an exaggeration. A multi-car accident, 3 or 4 cars involved. Worse for wear, Jeff Stabnow. And right now, he is currently in 19th on the lead lap, but 19 seconds back to the leader.
Yeah, has a lot of work to be put on. As touching on the fact of that wreck, yes, it was pretty, like, with how big how small this field is, you could count it as a large wreck. I mean, if this was a 30 to 40 car field, then you could say it was just a small multi-car wreck. But because of how small this field is and the drivers that were involved, it just has massive implications. I mean, Tyler King, as well as Jeff Stabnow, the prime victims of that wheel spin incident, and they weren't even the ones. They were just trying to avoid the upcoming carnage and just weren't able to. It's Tyler King in 12th position, but for some of the other drivers that were able to just get around and aren't in too much of danger, such as a BJ Titrick and Toby Ritters, they're just out here putting down laps, trying to be the most successful that they can currently where they're riding.
Understanding that this is the best battle on the racetrack right now. Right here, working lap number 40. 125 laps to go. Cole Raz, Kevin Smith going at it for position. And the race rolls on here. Green flag been out for 18 minutes, and we've already completed, Samuel, 41, now going on 42 laps. This time by is still Raz and Smith. Best battle on the racetrack. Ritter's trying to close in. He's got a decent run in the top 10.
Yeah, trying to close in. Toby Ritter is back in 10th place, doing pretty well. Caden Anderson in 5th, trying to catch up to these drivers currently. And Looking at the field where they're at right now, everyone's single filed out, giving each other plenty of space. And that's the key thing in short track racing here at Iowa, is making sure that everyone's got enough spacing from one another, as Ryan Bloom trying to recover, get as many positions back as possible. As watching Ryan moving forward, he's been one of the fastest drivers of the, you could say, 6 back to Ryan Bloom. The 25 has been the fastest machine, and trying to at least get back up into the top 10. He has finally done so. Now the next goal for Ryan in this 25, get up into the top 5. He's pushed the 23 Clifford, otherwise known as BJ Tidrick. I mean, that of Toby Ritter's going to be moving back. But, I mean, looking at this field, Wesley, it's a lot of drivers pushing back and forth from one another up front, as we're seeing Cole Raz and that of Smith battling back and forth. But when you're side by side, this lead into a run, biggest concern has to be tires, and hoping that that driver on the outside doesn't make any mistakes of sliding up into the outside wall on the exit. And on the entry of the corner, you're banking on that inside car not to slide up into the outside, but they are back in line, keeping it close with one another. But man, Cole Raz, I mean, every single time he shows up for a race, you got a feeling he's got a shot for either a good finish or getting the win.
Field coming back around out of turn 4. Back to the start-finish line. As Brightsman is the man leading the way. Yee in second, Raz third, Smith fourth, Anderson top 5. And again, this battle now for fourth, and the third and fourth continues. Kevin Smith trying to run down Cole Raz. Raz trying to get to Brightsman. But first, he's got to get around some lap cars. And that is the Camel Machine, a Big Bird, Eric Cheney, or should I say, Big Camel tonight. And we got a battle for the lead. Brightsman after Yee, sideways goes Yee, cross the stripe, Sean Brightsman right there to the left rear quarter panel. And he's got to run, Samuel, off of turn number 2.
Yeah, Sean Brightsman able to come back, trying to conquer over that of Justin Yee, and right on board with the 46. Bryce Boutique and doing a great job as that of Brightsman. But the inside, like the dueling we were seeing from that of Chris White and BJ Tidrick, they're going to be side by side for quite a while. But the longer the run goes on, the more you feel like maybe Brightsman, if he can hold on, he can get a great run for himself. But you saw there how much the bumps were. Entry of the corner through both turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Those bumps are so aggressive, and you're hoping that your splitter doesn't start bouncing off of the floor and bouncing up some sparks as the 46 wiggling just a little bit there off turn number 4.
Inside, Brightsman, boy, oh boy, little wiggle there. And brushes right back up on the machine of the 66, Justin Yee. I want to go fast. Inside, Brightsman, he's there. He's got to run. He's got to run. Will he clear him? No, not yet. They're side by side, Brightsman on the bottom. They're going to give the new lead to Brightsman. Brightsman's on the bottom, but Yee won't back down. And look at this, Samuel. This has allowed Raz and Smith to run down the leaders. 4 cars now for the lead on lap number 50.
Yeah, and right now for Justin Yee, he's just got to hope that this isn't going to be hurting him. But that wiggle right there, getting back into the throttle, got to be concerned, because that little bit of a wiggle is just going to grow the longer the run goes on. And these drivers looking around, probably around lap 100 to lap 90, going to be the window for drivers going to stretch their fuel out the furthest that they can go. Other drivers going to be just trying to split this race in half. Around lap 85 is going to be their window that they're looking for. So 85 to 100, that's when we're going to be seeing drivers think about hitting pit road. But Yee into the wall, brushed it, losing time, brushed it to the lead, and here comes Cole Raz.
And here comes a 4-car battle now for the lead as Yee bounces off the concrete into turn number 3. They'll send it down out of turn 4. Sean Brightsman, originally from Puyallup, Washington, the home of another great 410 sprint car winged ace of Trey Starks. He moved down last year in November, down to Tucson, Arizona. He lives in the land of cactus now. And he is currently back out in front, won the championship in the Cup Series last year. Across the line, Sean Brightsman, Justin Yee. Yee up the racetrack. Here comes Cole Raz. Raz with a move, inside, outside. Kevin Smith on the bottom. He's after Raz as well. They'll stay single file, Samuel, down into turn 3. Here comes Smith going for a 2-for-1 if he can in the 0-0.
Tried to do the slide job move, but just was not clear enough. Was out of Kevin Smith. He's going to have to reset. And it's going to take a couple of laps for the 0-0 to get that momentum built back up again. But you know how we saw Brightsman and Yee battling, and it brought in Cole Raz and Smith. Well, they continued to battle on. One of the fastest drivers on track was Caden Anderson about 2 laps ago. That 37 coming with a lot of speed for themselves. Saw on pit road. That's going to be Bryce Beatty. That was one of the lap drivers that we were about to catch up to for the lead lap crew, but not going to have to worry about. He's into pit road, getting himself out of the way. But Cole, that of Caden Anderson, trying to just slowly march his way forward to try to catch up to our top 4.
Anderson in 5th position. Brightsman, Yee, Yaz, Smith, Anderson, your top 5. West, O'Hare, White, Tidrick, and Bloom, the top 10. We're going to go side by side. You do not miss a thing. So far, a long green flag run after a caution on the start, and things are looking good for the defending Cup Series champion, Sean Brightsman, in the lead, but a lot of racing left to go with over 100 laps remaining at Iowa Speedway. You won't miss it. We'll go side by side. More in a moment from the Northwest iRacing Cup Series playoffs at Iowa.
Hey, it's Wesley Outlet on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series, the American iRacing League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSR TV. Of course, remember, you can watch it, and then you can listen to it on CRN, the community radio network at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler products. Lots of performance there, lots of excitement there. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
Hey, it's Wesley Outlet on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series, the American iRacing League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSR TV. Of course, remember, you can watch it, and then you can listen to it on CRN, the community radio network at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
Working lap number 63 of 165 in the Iowa 165. Welcome back to our coverage. Samuel Dyer, Wesley Outlet here with you. There's Caden Anderson. And my pick is up to 5th, Samuel. 37 coming hard. And by the way, there's still a lot of racing left to go. There's a look at the Harvest Chevrolet, the Yakima, Washington native. Looking good so far, staying out of trouble. After having that little tangle with Ryan Bloom, he sits in a comfortable spot.
Yeah, right now in 5th, and been able to slowly make his way forward, catching up to that of Justin Yee, Smith, and Raz, as they've been trying to figure out where they want to place themselves, as a lot of pressure has been of Cole, Raz, and Smith on one another. But Justin Yee, very quick on the short run in those first about 20 to 30 laps, but ever since then, it's been slowly been. Once Sean Brightsman got past Yee, Yee has been on a track going backwards and Drivers that are moving forward, Caden Anderson, who's in 5th, who just got to the back bumper of the 66. Well, back there you saw a glimpse of the green. Dan West Jr., one of the fastest drivers on track currently, the 55, on his way forward as well.
Brightsman, Raz, Smith, Yee Anderson. There's Dan West Jr. at the top 5 in 6th position. And closing in behind him is also Ottenbacher, couple of laps down. Samuel, we'll never forget the crazy race that Stephen O'Hare won at Talladega. Remember that one? Man, that was wild.
It was amazing to watch O'Hare getting that win, and incredible to see, you know, at the adversity that he had to go through to get the win, working with teamwork with all of the Beaver State Racing guys. But here's when things get interesting. You see that of Ottenbacher. Well, you did see Ottenbacher, but the 89 came into pit road back on lap 64. Now going to be coming with a head of steam, fresh tires, going to be trying to get by all this lead lap in front of him to try to unlap himself, put himself back on the lead lap. But John Ottenbacher going in with the extreme undercut, trying to get a better pit stop and hitting right when the window opens for this race. We'll see if this strategy works out for the 89. It's this race to stay green all the way to the end.
Look at Ottenbacher. He's a lap car, several laps down. You got the red car. That's Raz. Black car, Smith. Up on the outside. They're battling for 2nd and 3rd, might I add. And lap car in the way. Brightsman. While this goes on, Samuel, he pulls away. Almost a second or more from the field.
Yeah, for Sean Brightsman, his goal is to pull away. But when John Ottenbacher catches up to the 46, this is going to be costing a little bit of time, allowing Raz and Smith to slowly catch up. As you see, the 46 have to go high, and that is just a little bit of costly time. But luckily, the pass was made on the straightaway, so not losing too much speed was that of Brightsman, which that's so helpful when you got drivers that you're around that you can trust, even when they're doing, you know, odd strategies, such as we saw there of Ottenbacher trying to do here, as he's not a playoff contender, just trying something different to gain as many positions as possible and have the best finish possible for himself. Sean Brightsman wasn't affected too much, now gets to continue on, except for no yellow flag,
oh, no!
Cole Raz spun around.
Oh, no! Battling with Kevin Smith for 2nd and 3rd. And Cole Raz in the spin cycle, 2nd time here in Iowa. My. Oh, Kevin Smith. Just a little putt in the pants and around he went. First you say it, then you do it. And that's what happened to Cole Raz in the 10 car.
I mean, they were battling and staying on top of one another for the past almost 40 to almost 50 laps. And when you're around someone for that long and you feel like you're faster than them, you get a little antsy, a little aggressive. We're getting close to halfway. And Smith giving a tap to Raz and getting him around.
Yellow flag is out. All right, who's coming to the pits? Everybody should be coming in. What do you think, Samuel?
Everybody is in. They're all getting service done currently, and the driver that needed this yellow the most had to be that of Jeff Stabnow as a dash out of pit road. Looks like it was Caden Anderson by a nose beating out that of Sean Brightsman, and he will get it done as Eric Cheney staying out, but Eric Cheney going to be getting a lucky dog position for the 76. So leading up front, Wesley, it's your pick. Caden Anderson up front with a great pit stop and aggressive out of pit road to get that lead position.
Can you say quick time? What a run for the driver there. And making it stick, making it work. He's my pick. Samuel, where's your guy at tonight?
Looking at the board, looks like that of Dan West Jr. Extended time in a pit road for the 55. Going to be all the way back in 16th position. So he's going to be the last, one of the second to last driver on the lead lap. So a lot of work needs to be done for the 55 team, but he's shown that he's got pace.
Well, while we have a moment to be under yellow flag, we will jump in and grab a word with Sean Bryce. But look at Sean on the wheel, cruising on a Monday afternoon. You're looking good, Sean. I'm talking about the race, that is.
Oh, man, I thought you were talking about me. I was about to say that. Thanks, Wes. But, yeah, so far so good. Wright's Boutique Toyota Camry is running really swell, especially on that long run. So I'm glad I saved some tire. Was able to get around Justin there. And, yeah, Caden got around me there on the pit stop. But hope we can do the same thing.
I tell you, this car looks really, really good, man. You know, setup-wise, how do you feel everything's going so far as we are about to approach halfway through this race? And, I know you just made these pit stops, but how far are you mired back there whenever you get ready to go back to green? It looks like you're going to be second. So definitely good pit strategy working for you as well.
Yeah, definitely. It was great that the caution came out. We were just talking on the team, trying to see what we were going to be doing, and Jeff was looking for some advice. So we were trying to figure out what was going on, and caution came out literally right after we were done talking there. So, happy to be in second here. I gave up the lead, but it about lost it there on pit road coming out of the exit there, and all you can do is control it and line up wherever you're going to line up.
Sam, you got anything for Sean before we go back to green?
No, just Sean, great run there. Good luck as we'll send you back. It's looking like you got a very strong car, and good luck out there.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Wes.
Sam, there you go. Sean Brightsman. Grabbing a word as our in-race reporter. Just some of the new bells and whistles that we're working on here at your home for sim racing, which, by the way, in about 15 laps or so, we are coming up on halfway. We will have a mid-race report, and we'll assess the first half of the race, but that was our in-race reporter of Sean Brightsman on the outside of row number 1, that 46 machine. Ready to bring them back to the restart. They're back to the Geico restart zone. He spun the tires. Brightsman didn't go. He didn't fire. And Sam, this opens the door for Kevin Smith. And Caden Anderson goes to the lead in 37 off 2.
I think I saw about 4 or 5 different drivers wheel spin it there, but luckily all pointing in the right direction. And Sean Brightsman gets to get a little bit of a blip there, but the 46, he understands how important that fresh air is, trying to make the pass early. And Justin Yee's got 4 fresh tires. Driver that dominated the first half of this race, trying to get back up front, but he's back and forth as Caden Anderson under heavy pressure from this 46 team.
Heavy pressure mounts for Caden Anderson. He's on the inside. Here comes Sean Brightsman back on the bottom for the lead. He wants it back. Will he get it? He will off 2.
No, caution.
And we got a caution. Caution is out. Yellow flag. Couple of cars up against the wall. BJ Tidrick is one of them. And I believe... Who the heck is the Halloween car?
Well, White and BJ are running, and just a little bit of a tip.
Okay.
It gets BJ loose, and
who hit it?
Oh no!
Wow. Audenbacher and slammed and junk in his trunk and in his front and everything else. That is Aaron Cooper, Bug Eyes. He's changed his car colors as well. The Toyota Camry getting ready for Halloween. October is this Friday, might I add. What does the green mean on the leaderboard mean? Okay, so the green on the leaderboard means that those drivers have advanced to the round of 8, Davey Moody, to answer your question. Good question there. Drivers in green on the Legend have advanced to the playoffs in the round of 8. Drivers in blue are drivers that are currently in the top 8 that could transfer. Drivers in red are drivers that are currently in the top 12 of the playoffs, but Samuel, they're on the box outside looking in. A win can make that go green. Guys in the black are just racers. They're just racing to have fun. Oh, my goodness. Not again. They want to see my mug again. Let's go back to our LSR TV in-race report. Well, there you go. Welcome back. He is... It always just works better pointing down than trying to figure out left and right. You know, it's just... He is Samuel Dyer. We welcome you to the Tom Denchel Automotive Group Race Report. Mid-race report, might I add. Samuel, seems like we've been having some calamity here in the last couple of laps. A lot of visits by the Banana Republic flag, cautions out. But, man, what a great race we're seeing between Sean Brightsman, my pick, Caden Anderson. Man, a lot of good racing. Kevin Smith is strong, looking really good. Your thoughts of the first opening 83 laps?
Yeah, I mean, the first, 83 laps, we got to see a lot of struggles early on. The restarts have been one of the biggest issues so far. We saw them on the first, when we first started the race with Ryan Bloom spinning his tires. But every single time we have tried to get a restart, somebody, 1 to 8 drivers I've seen spin their tires, have issues. That's going to continue to be an issue throughout the night just because of it being nighttime, cooler weather. As, looking at some of the other drivers that have Jeff Stabnow able to recover after being involved in that first wreck, as well as spun around by that of Eric Cheney. Now we'll see if we can see Jeff cut his way through the field. And looking up front, Caden Anderson, he's been looking fast, but he's got a lot of hungry drivers behind him. And I'm wondering what's going to happen with Yee. He was up front dominating those first 80 laps of this race, and now he's trapped behind drivers. He's got to figure out how to cut his way through as well.
Yeah, I got that cheesy grin on my face, Samuel, because I'm not laughing at what you're saying. I don't know if you just caught that a moment ago, but I about fell out of my chair, and I'm trying to balance myself here with you on camera.
I'm always wondering what's going on with you, Wesley. You already broke so many chairs. Why do you got to break another one?
Look, okay? It's down to its last 2 wheels, okay? 3 wheels. It's down to its last 3 wheels. So a moment ago, it was like, whoa! So, yeah, oh, wow.
It's just calamity up there. I don't know what's going on
I'm
with this
throwing
guy
this
up
in
there.
the trash. I'm tearing the set down. But anyhow, yes, I'm going to say keep my eye on Caden Anderson. I think Caden Anderson's my pick. I said it. He's out in front. Brightsman's got a strong car. But, Justin Yee looked really good at one time. Stephen O'Hare is one of those guys that we're going to keep an eye on as well. So, definitely it should be a fun second half. I got my drink, Samuel. Cheers to you. This should be a fun second half here at Iowa Speedway. And that has been the Tom Denchel Automotive Group Mid-Race Report. We go back to on-track activity now. I don't know why in the world I try to make that out like a commercial.
I don't know either.
We go back. I don't know why I just did that. Had to drink. No, I was going to show off. I was going to show my drink because I was trying to say this is going to be a good one. Grab a cold one and have a fun time. This is going to be a great second half. But I was just going to say I don't know how I made it like it was going to be a promo and then we're going to commercial. So we're getting ready to go back for the restart here. Caden Anderson, Sean Brightsman, Kevin Smith, along with Justin Yee, Stephen O'Hare, top 5. Here they come, back into the Geico restart zone, and green flag goes back in the air at Iowa. Yeah, baby. Second half, Iowa 165 should not disappoint, and Caden Anderson out in front. Brightsman, Smith, top 3 as they work the back straightaway.
And it's all Kevin Smith trying to figure out how to hold off all the hungry dogs behind him, and it's Beaver State Racing. Stephen O'Hare, Tyler King, They both faded back early in this race. Tyler King involved in that first race, but the 21, he is making the charge on the inside with his teammate O'Hare, trying to be really the lead jouster of all this. A little bit of contact, White into King as they're 3 wide back in the middle of the field.
Look at this battle for the lead on top of all of that chaos. Here comes Breitzman back after Anderson. Smith, Yee, O'Hare fighting for it. 3 wide like it's the last piece of chicken on the dinner table, and it's not even Thanksgiving yet. Anderson and Breitzman battle now for the lead.
Oh man, up front is still the battle for Kaden Anderson and Sean Breitzman, but this side-by-side action, it's Jeff Stabnow, Stephen O'Hare. Stabnow involved in the first wreck, then was spun, and under that had a fight and claw to make sure he stayed on the lead lap, got the lead caution he needed, and now Jeff Stabnow having a shot to get inside of the top 5, but he's got O'Hare, White, right on his back bumper, and so is Dan West Jr., who's back into the top 10.
He certainly does as they work their way back down into the 3rd turn. Inside O'Hare, O'Hare after White, O'Hare after Stabnow, 2 for 1. This is inside the top 10. This is 5th, 6th, and 7th on board. Dan West Jr., he is in 9th. He's the pick for Sammy D, and he's starting to make a run up the top 10. Samuel down the back straightaway. They're all single file, slithering their way into the 3rd turn.
Yeah, we're starting to see drivers already that were aggressive in the first just 10 laps of this restart, starting to feel the wear and tear on their tires, starting to fade back. Also, Tyler King got a little bit of a bump in damage from White, is fading back for himself, but for Dan West Jr., I mean, look at all the drivers that are in the middle of this field. They're all around the midway, which is around top 10. We're seeing drivers that are making recovery moves forward. Ryan Bloom, Tyler King, both drivers that were involved in that first wreck, just outside of the top 10 and have a shot at it, but the driver they got to get by, it's Clifford, the 223 Toby Ritters. He is holding strong and trying to get another top 10 finish for himself.
Clifford, the big red dog, ruff, ruff. Down the back straightaway to the 3rd turn. Inside, here comes now Stabnow. He's coming after Smith. For this is position number 5. Mambo number 5 is now Montana's number 24 of Jeff Stabnow. He's in 5th position. Davey Moody, you're exactly right. Very crucial for, of course, the driver of Kaden Anderson to win before they go not to Talladega, but Atlanta. Atlanta is next week, my friend. We do not kind of per se follow the entire NASCAR schedule like the big boys do in the Cup Series. We kind of mimic it a little bit, but we kind of change it up for the playoffs. Like the first 2 rounds was Indianapolis Road Course, Indianapolis Big Speedway. This is round number 3 in the round of 12 playoffs. Round of 8 locked in after Atlanta next week. And here comes a battle for the lead. Anderson, Sean Breitzman inside in 3.
Keeping it close. Sean Breitzman trying to make the inside lane work for himself. And right now, he's just not finding the right speed, but it's Justin Yee in 3rd. That's coming a little bit closer each and every lap. And currently, Yee is the fastest car on track in 3rd place.
Back straightaway they go into that 3rd turn. And right now, Anderson in the lead. Breitzman 2nd. Here comes Justin Yee. Cole Raz, who got in the fence a moment ago, out of turn 4. Up to 4th. Stabnow 5th. Samuel, you like stats? Listen to this. 2 drivers in red outside the top 8 in the points are right now in the top 5. A driver that needs to advance to the championship round of 8 is in 2nd. 2 drivers, Justin Yee and Cole Raz, they could give a hoot. They're just here to race for the win.
I mean, looking at these guys right now, I mean, looking at how they're attacking, yeah, I mean, it certainly is amazing to see for that of Kaden Anderson, a must-win driver in the lead. And looking at the drivers right now, if where they're riding currently, you could see that of Jeff Stabnow, who's running in that of 5th position. Up the perfect amount, 6 positions above that of BJ Tidrick. But if Caden Anderson wins, the driver that would be bumped down to 8th in points would be that of Dan West Jr., and Jeff Stabnow would be back in the same spot that he's in currently, 9th place in points. So right now for Jeff Stabnow, he has to continue to run well, bank on that of BJ Tidrick to struggle, as well as Stabnow kind of needs Dan West Jr. to have an extreme off day, as that of Dan West Jr. is 12 points ahead of Jeff Stabnow. So it's going to be really close, but our top 2 now turning into our battle for our top 3 battling for the lead. Justin Yee getting closer at Cole Raz. He also is someone that is banking on our top 3 to battle as strong as they can. So the 10 could use all of that lost speed that the front 3 have to try to make it a battle for 4 for first place.
And we'll watch these guys go back at it on lap number 103 of 165. Anderson and Brightsman right there playing cat and mouse with one another as they cross the scoring loop. Justin Yee behind them. Stabnow right there behind Raz. That's your top 5. We're after lap 100. Stabnow, O'Hare, Kevin Smith, Dan West Jr. in the top 10, along with Chris White and Toby Ritters. And Samuel, here they come. 60 laps to go this time by when they cross the scoring loop.
Yeah, and finishing out where the rest of the drivers are, where you finished off in the top 10, Ryan Bloom, Tyler King, Judd Wakefield, BJ Tidrick, Eric Cheney, Frank Harris, Aaron Cooper, Bryce Beatty, and the only car that is officially out of this race, John Ottenbacher in 19th. So we've only got 18 on track, trying to run as hard as they can, and all 18 drivers that are on track, they're on the lead lap. But the question is, for how long will they still be on the lead lap, as our leader, Caden Anderson, as well as Sean Breisman and Yee, that are right on top of one another, trying to run further ahead, as Kevin Smith trying to make the pass on O'Hare. They are still duking it out as Dan West Jr. looming to see if he can possibly gain a couple of more positions before this race is over.
Turn number 2 back straightaway. This track's 7/8 of a mile. You run it like a super speedway, but it's actually a short track, and it is fun and exciting. Working their way back around. Here they come, start-finish line. And now there you see them. Stabnow, Smith, O'Hare, West, 3 wide. Here comes Ritters. They're all there. They're all there. Laps winding down as well, Sammy, down the back straightaway.
Yeah, they're all keeping it close currently, and with how close everyone is, there's always that looming chance of a yellow being thrown. I mean, the last yellow we got to think of, you know, when we ended our long green flag run, it was that of Cole Raz and Kevin Smith. Smith just kind of running over Cole Raz. Similar thing could happen here with how close we're seeing some of these packs being. You know, we've got this group right now that we're watching of Kevin Smith, Dan West Jr., Chris White, Toby Ritters. This group being from 6th back to 10th. But then you also got the lead pack. You got our top 3 that are on top of one another. Similar action could happen with them, as it's looking like that of Jeff Stabnow slowly being caught, as Kevin Smith and others trying to catch up to the 24 and to see who could be battling to be inside of the top 5.
Back across the start-finish line. Here they come. In a 1 and 2. Lap 111 of 165. Shades of the hourglasses are running short. It's go time, in case you didn't know. You better send it now. By the way, we haven't gave a full field rundown any of this race. Let's go ahead and do that right now on lap number 111 completed. Caden Anderson is leading. Justin Yee is 2nd. Sean Brightsman 3rd. Cole Raz is 4th. Jeff Stabnow in the top 5. Kevin Smith is 6th. Dan West Jr. 7th. Stephen O'Hare is 8th. Chris White 9th. And Toby Ritters is currently the top 10 at Iowa.
Then you fall back by almost a second. You find that of Ryan Bloom. In another about a little bit over a half a second, you find Tyler King and Judd Wakefield going to be back here. BJ Tidrick, a driver that was battling inside the top 10 at one moment. 72, back all the way in 14th position. And then you go even further back than that, finishing out your top 15 side by side. It's going to be that of Aaron Cooper and Eric Cheney. Going to be battling side by side to see who's going to get that 15th position, with Frank Harris just following and watching as drivers battling strong. And then behind Frank Harris is Bryce Beatty, last driver on track. It's Sean Ottenbacher, currently out of the race and has parked it for the rest of the day.
Don't forget the Iowa Corn 165 will have the trucks here on Wednesday night. Make sure you make your plans to join us.
He making the pass for second place, and now seeing if he can get back into the lead position. For Justin Yee, he was so fast in the first 30 to 40 laps into a run. He had that short run pace, but it was when we got to the long runs where the 66 started to falter and fell back. We're starting to get to the end of when the 66 was at its fastest. Getting concerned for Justin that I'm hoping that maybe he took some knowledge from that first stint. Okay, I don't need to run as hard. I got to make sure that my long run is just as fast as my short run pace. And for the 66 of Yee, he's been able to get to second place. Now the question, does he have enough speed to get by Caden Anderson? The question is no, but they're sliding, they're slashing and dashing. Here comes the crossover move. Yee to the inside as Bryson holds off for second.
Laps are winding down. You better go now. And here comes the field off turn 4. Breitzman, Anderson is the leader. Breitzman second, Justin Yee third. Samuel, I don't know why, but I told you, long drive from Alabama today, and I had a feeling. Who's the pick? I got the message earlier this afternoon from our producer. Who you riding with? Who's your pick? And I said it, and I looked at some previous video from Iowa that we've done on LSR TV. I looked at the point standings. I looked at some previous stats. And then it just hit me. Tonight could be the night for Caden Anderson. He's in a pickle, okay? He got busted for causing an intentional caution in the finale twice this year. And in doing so, they penalized him a race. He still got his points. He still is able to be in the playoffs, but missing the opening race in Indy at the road course hurt him. He struggled last week at the big speedway. And Samuel, it's very simple. Me and you talked about this. If he does not win in the round of 8, it's done for him if he can't get in by points. And right now, if you look, he's in the red. He is outside the top 8, meaning if he doesn't do well, he's not going to go to the round of 8 to race for a championship. Exactly what he's doing right now.
To do right now. Caden Anderson last week at the Indy Oval when he came back from his suspension, able to get a 4th place finish, and honestly could have had a shot to win last week at the Indy Oval, but a little bit of contact made between himself and Chris White with 4 laps to go bumped this 2017 back to 4th place. Still a solid finish, and with some of the struggles that we saw from some of our other top contenders, such as that of BJ Tidrick, Jeff Stabnow, Dan West Jr., they struggled last week, giving enough points for this 2017 to move forward. And once again, we're seeing a little bit of a struggle happening again from BJ and also from Ryan Bloom. But Bloom, 4th in points, has a pretty good buffer for himself coming into this race. But Caden Anderson right now, he continues to just have top 3 finishes, top 4 finishes tonight and next week. He's got a very slim shot of pointing his way into the next round. But yeah, I mean, we both knew Wesley, when he came back from that suspension, Caden Anderson needed to get a win if he wanted to move on to the round of 8. Right now, he's showing he's got the strength to possibly get it done here tonight at Iowa.
Yeah, he certainly is. We're going to keep an eye on that. There's still a lot of racing here left to go, but he is so strong for sure. Could it be? Could tonight be the night And again, Caden Anderson punching his ticket in to the round of 8. He's leading the way. Look at Eric Cheney. Lap traffic all in the way of the leaders. Move out of the way, Big Camel. They call him Big Bird. Big Camel on the camel car. Remember when Jimmy Spencer used to drive the Smoking Joe's camel car, Samuel? Okay, it's before your time.
That was a little bit before
Cole
my
Raz,
time,
Kevin
yeah.
Smith. Dang, making me feel old.
And Dan West Jr. also going to be in the mix of this. Because of the mix-up, you got to remember, it was Cole Raz that got bumped and moved out of the way when they were dueling between Smith and Cole Raz. We'll see if Raz wants to get any retaliation or will he make the pass cleanly. But the harder they race on, the closer the 55 is trying to get in and can put himself inside of the top 5.
Kevin Smith bouncing off the wall. He got into Cole Raz. They save it. Raz hit the wall. I'm sorry, Kevin Smith hit the wall out of 4. Cole Raz had damage on the right front. And they hold it together. Samuel will still stay green, but that was kind of chaotic there for a second.
Oh, it was very chaotic as Bryce Beatty in the 70 machine just pitted back on lap 119. So going to be having a lot fresher tires, cutting his way through this field. Gave a scare to Dan West Jr. Also want to get the audience to know, we do know that there is buffering and issues going on. Weather issues are hitting us currently. So we're trying to make sure that we can try to stick this race out, but we're understanding the issues that are going on. It is weather and internet issues that are happening. We're hoping that it will clear up here, but we're just going to hold out, stick on as this race continues to try to thrill us here coming late to the end of the race.
Down the stretch they come, ladies and gentlemen. It is coming to the end. It's about that time. Field will make their way coming off of turn number 4. Anderson, Yee, and Brightsman stabbed down. They're all there. Smith in the top 5, even though he bounced off the wall. All these cars ready to go to the end. We're ready to take you to the finish. But one more time, a final commercial break. If something happens, we'll break in. We'll take you to the finish when we return. LSR TV, Community Radio Network coverage of the Northwest Playoffs for the Cup Series in the Iowa Corn 165 when we return.
Hey, it's Wesley Outland on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series, the American iRacing League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSR TV. Of course, remember, you can watch it and then you can listen to it on CRN, the Community Radio Network, at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler products. Lots of performance there, lots of excitement there. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
We're back. And it is about to get good. The final 30 laps or so to the finish here at the Iowa Speedway. What a beautiful day for racing. Nighttime settling in here. 137 of 65. Anderson, Yee, Brightsman, Stabnow, West the top 5. No change in any of these positions. And we welcome you back to coverage. Round number 3 of the playoffs in 4K Ultra HD on your home for sim racing, livesimracing.com, LSR TV, and for those that are listening to the radio coverage on CRN, the Community Radio Network. I'm Wesley Outland, Samuel Dyer alongside. Samuel, your thoughts as we approach?
Yeah, I mean, this race has been a taste of everything. We've had now 2 long green flag runs with a mixture of cautions being sprinkled in between, but so far it has been hard, great racing. You can see all the playoff drivers that showed up here today, all running in the top 13. You've seen some that were struggling. We saw the incident that happened with Ryan Bloom, Tyler King, and Jeff Stabnow. Jeff Stabnow been able to really recover from that incident, the best of all 3 drivers, currently in 4th place. And looking at his last lap times, running pretty similar to the drivers that he's around. Has to be slightly concerned as Dan West Jr. trying to find a little bit more speed in that 55 machine. But right now, everyone's been playing calm, playing nice, and only have seen a couple of incidences of drivers making contact with one another on race. Kevin Smith and Cole Raz, that contact that they had, probably the biggest one we've had so far.
It's going to be interesting to see things come down to the wire, how they'll end up here. Is right now we see Toby Ritters and Cole Raz battle for position. This is, believe it or not, for 8th position. Toby Ritters, what a run for him tonight, Samuel.
Yeah, Toby Ritters keeping himself out of trouble. I learned a lot on that first stint. Learned to keep his tires underneath him. Try not to be too aggressive early on, and after watching everyone else in front of him be aggressive in the first 30 laps from our last restart, been really patient, letting everyone else's race kind of fall where it is, while Toby Ritters here late in the race, he can be aggressive. This, 23 team, looking at his last lap, been running some of the faster laps of the drivers that he's around, and expected to try to make this pass on Cole Raz, who Raz has been struggling after his slight contact with the wall as well as with Kevin Smith. And it continues to just see the 10 drifting back, falling back. A driver that we thought had a chance to win this race, possibly, of Cole Raz, he's just hoping to stay in the top 10 by the end of this race.
Coming up on 20 laps to go here in a few more laps. As there you see Anderson coming across the line. There he is again on his own world. There's that 37 car. What a strong Chevrolet, the Harvest Chevrolet. Samuel, you see he taped up the grill.
Yeah, tape on the grill. All the drivers running the same setup, as this is a fixed setup for the Cup car. So drivers, with it being a cooler 10, able to put a little bit more tape on the engine. Feeling like the cooler air was going to cool off these for these drivers, as we're now seeing Justin Yee looking at the last laps. Very similar times of our top 4, all keeping it within a 24.5 second lap time compared to their best lap time, which was a 23.2. So running about a second, 1.2 seconds slower than their best laps. A lot of the drivers keeping it strong up front as the battle for the lead continues to grow. Kane Anderson finding more and more speed, it seems like.
Chris White, winner at Indy last week. He's in green. You know why? Because he's on to the next round of the round of 8. The other driver that's there is not in attendance tonight, and that's Lake Peterson. Under 20 laps to go here in the Iowa Corn 165. Anderson, Yee right there with him, about a half a second back, or actually a second back, closing in on him. Sean Brightsman, Jeff Stabnow. Samuel, Late race caution? Bunch up everything? What are you thinking, bud?
I mean, it is very possible, and we got some drivers that are on fresh tires, like Frank Harris, who's just came into pit road, just about 15 laps, goes into the wall now. It's the 11, and that's Frank the chance Harris. That we could have of a possible caution coming out. The 11 of Frank Harris. He pitted back on lap 141, which was about 10 laps ago. He's now utilizing this fresh rubber. He's got himself about 60 lap fresher tires than the rest of the field, and he is utilizing it to his full potential, but almost cost himself and Ryan Bloom there a great finish as the 25, just trying to recover as they're trying to get by Cole Raz.
15 laps to go. Anderson, Yee, Brightsman, Stabnow. And look at now Raz battling with O'Hare. Lap cars all in the way, might I add, including the 11, Frank Harris. We just saw him bounce off the wall a moment ago. Ryan Bloom on the lead lap, O'Hare on the lead lap, and Raz on the lead lap, and that's going on for 10th, 11th, and 12th for the lap car in the middle.
Big credit to Frank Harris right now. You could just tell he wants to use this fresh rubber and get by these guys, but recognizing, hey, all three of these drivers on the lead lap, they're racing for position, and you've got a driver that's not a part of the playoffs of Cole Raz is on board with the 11 of Frank Harris and getting a look of the Ford machine on where he wants to place himself, but not wanting to influence, the playoff drivers or those that are not in the playoff drivers, just trying to find his position on where to go. Frank Harris back in 18th, last car on the track. But Wesley, I mean, looking at how the drivers are attacking, this is now the battle for third. Jeff Stabnow, what a story of rebounding for this 24 team. Yeah, I mean, Jeff Stabnow, certainly a driver that has had to rebound all day long after being involved in that first contact on the initial part of this race, and now going to be trying to find himself in the top three, a podium position for a driver that needs every single point if he wants to move on to the next round, because a win by Caden Anderson bumps all the drivers that are inside of the top 8, moves them down a position, and this could bump out BJ Tidrick, who's that bubble driver.
And you realize, too, he is outside the top 8. He is currently 9th in the standings, or 10th. If he can literally get that bump up from tonight's race, that can help him. And honestly, Samuel, we saw him do that. He's battling now Brightsman for third. He won this ARCA race on Friday here at Iowa. Caution, he's back in business. The question is if that'll happen. But Samuel, we saw Stabnow not win any. He is currently winning the playoffs by virtue of points. He's doing the exact same thing to try to go to the round of 8. And by the way, 8 laps to go. Anderson, oh my goodness, while he leads, Brightsman and Stabnow make contact, battling for third.
And that's now adding Dan West Jr. into the mix, because the harder they battle, the more the 55's coming into this brewing. And honestly, Dan West Jr. running just as fast, actually faster than our leader currently, 55. Dan West Jr., fastest car on the track, and he is soon and has a shot for a top 3 finish.
Seven, now make it 6 laps to go when they come back to the start-finish line. You better go now.
Oh, 55 into the wall. A little bit of a brush for Dan West Jr. And now we'll see, can Jeff Stabnow hold back that of Brightsman and Dan West Jr.? EWJ going to be one of the favorite drivers right now to have a shot to make the pass and get into the top 3. Kind of having a pretty similar comeback as it was Dan West Jr. and Jeff Stabnow when Stabnow got that late caution of Cole Raz and Smith halfway through this race. Once that caution came out, it was Jeff Stabnow, Dan West Jr., all the way back in 14th, 15th position. They've had to work and climb their way up to get into the top 5. Now the question is, who's going to be in that third place position? Or will it be Sean Breisman, who's been up front, absolutely conquering up front, showing a lot of speed for himself? But man, I just don't know if Jeff Stabnow can hold them up. But we've seen it's been difficult later into a run if someone can make a pass this late. But Jeff Stabnow showing that he's got the speed, even with being involved in that first wreck and having to come back. He has done everything in his power. But the man that's up front, Caden Anderson, trying to get the win to lock himself in, even with the one-race suspension. He is doing everything in his power, and now
3 to
you
go.
see Dan West Jr. right on the back bumper.
Okay, 3 to go. Anderson pulling away into the third turn. Anderson, 1.5 seconds back to Justin Yees, trying to come in after Eric Cheney. There goes these drivers now going at it. Stabnow, West, Breitzman, all battle. Here you go. This is for third, fourth, and fifth. 2 laps remaining as they work their way to the back straightaway. Anderson clearing the lap car of Cheney as he works his way through 3 and 4. Samuel, final time. CRN 1 to go. He will punch his ticket to the round of 8. One more.
That's the win here. He's got 2 more corners to go after this one. He's gone by Eric Cheney. That's exactly what Caden Anderson needed. 1 race suspension, needed a win. Could have gone in last week, but a late contact didn't allow him to get so. But out of turn number 4, it's the 37, Caden Anderson, getting the win here in Iowa and locking himself to the round of 8.
Caden Anderson will win the race. Second spot's going to go to Justin Yee. Third's going to go to Jeff Stabnow. Fourth to Dan West Jr., Sean Breitzman, your top 5. Caden Anderson, needing to win, does just that here tonight at Iowa Speedway. Let the celebration begin for the Yakima, Washington driver. Ritters with a little congratulatory slap there. He'll do a couple of burnouts in the infield grass, and here comes Eric Cheney hitting Ritters. All right, who's going to send it? Here comes Stabnow. Whoa! We call this the Northwest High Five Salute. There's Dan West Jr., Jeff Stabnow, Caden Anderson. Anderson, Samuel doing exactly what he needed to do. He had to win a race to advance to the round of 8. And he did just that here tonight at Iowa Speedway. And honestly, from the stats and everything I looked at, I had a feeling he was going to do that tonight.
Yeah, he was racing angry after last week and being bumped and felt like he should have won at the Indy Oval, but coming up short with 4th place finish. Coming in tonight, he was angry, he was mad, and he raced like he wanted every single position. You saw it when he got the lead under pit road. He battled, he got the best launch, beat out Sean Breitzman, which put Breitzman in dirty air. And it was all Caden Anderson that was up front. No one really had a shot to beat the 37 once he got fresh air. And there he goes. Now moving on to the round of 8.
We will look at the unofficial results presented by SawBlade.com. Here you go. Caden Anderson is the winner. Justin Yee is second. Jeff Stabnow third. Dan West Jr. is fourth. Sean Breitzman, our in-race reporter, will check with him in a little bit. He finishes in the top 5. Kevin Smith, BJ Tidrick, Toby Ritters with another good finish, 8th place tonight at Iowa. Chris White, Stephen O'Hare, your top 10. One more race to go. Atlanta next week. And here's the rest of the rundown of the top 20.
In 11th, you're going to find the 71 of Aaron Cooper. Cole Raz falls outside of the top 10 in 12th position. Judd Wakefield, even after his little scare that he had in those first 8 laps of this race, the 55 gets a 13th place finish. With Tyler King, really, this is disappointing for the 21. And this whole entire Beaver State Racing team wanted a better finish for himself for that in 14th. Ryan Bloom, after his first lap incident, 15th for him. Bryce Beatty, Eric Cheney, Frank Harris, John Otbacher finishing out in 19th as Ray Fortner not able to even start the race back in 20th.
Top three, we'll talk to him when we come back from Iowa Speedway as Caden Anderson wins the Iowa Corn 1-6-5 and punches his ticket to the round of 8. Regardless of what happens at Atlanta, he's on to race for the championship still in the next round. Welcome back to coverage of the Northwest iRacing Cup Series. It's always presented by Tom Pinchel Automotive Group. Checkered flag in the wind, and it is Caden Anderson picking up the win. My pick, might I add. I was trying to 2 for 2 now. I picked Chris White last week. He won. Tonight, Caden Anderson gets it done. We'll grab a word with him. As regardless of my pick or not, he knows he's going to race for a championship now in the round of 8. We'll see if he can do it with the trucks on Wednesday. We're first going to grab a word with third place man, ARCA winner on Friday night. Trying to get into the next round by virtue of points, possibly. Of course, that's Jeff Stabnow from Billings, Montana, the 24 machine. Jeff, involved in an accident in the early beginning. You had to fight, rally, climb, podium third. Your take of the race.
That'd be 2 wrecks. We lost our first car.
2 wrecks, yes.
And we lost our first car, and we got knocked down to the pit road entrance and tore up there before we completed a green flag lap. So 165 laps with a damaged car. Trying not to get more damage. I was able to fix a little bit of damage during that caution, but not all of it. And, we just used those tires up coming from the back to get to third. I just didn't have anything left. Time I got out there, it was just all I could do to even get it to turn. Got into Sean there a little bit because I got a little hot there. But, again, it was just driving everything I could to get out of that car. It was just the tires were wasted and just trying to squeeze the last little bit out of it. So I suppose all in all, it was a pretty good night, but I'd have sure liked to have had a clean race. I think we had one of the cars to beat tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff, you certainly showed with the pace that you were going with that you certainly had a car that could have won today. But even with, the first lap and the incident and just feeling like you kept on getting pushed back, how does it feel knowing that you had that mental fortitude to at least get a top 3 finish in a race that really you didn't have, probably shouldn't even finish top 3 or top 10 with the way that this race started?
I wish I could sit here and tell you that I have the mental fortitude to just buckle down and do that. But I think credit goes to the teammates, man. I'm kind of losing it there. Panic mode here on the wrong side of the cut line and all that happens, and to have a veteran like Sean and Dan, sitting there talking to you and just calming you down and talking you through it, getting it back together. It's just beyond a luxury, man. I needed that. So can't thank them too enough for that.
Jeff, what's the plans going into Atlanta next week? Is it win, or is it just do whatever you got to do to get points to race for the championship round of 8 next coming up in 2 weeks?
Well, the plan was to win tonight, but if we couldn't get it done, just get as many points as we can, and I think that's where we're at Atlanta. We'll see where the points fall, but we're behind the 8 ball here. Got real bad race there at Indy and got tore up at the end of the race. And finished in the back. Didn't have a great road race, so thank God we salvaged a few points tonight. I don't know if it puts us in a place where we can point in or not, or if got to win. So we'll just give it hell.
All right, bud. Before we let you go, thank your sponsors.
Absolutely. Tom Denshaw Auto Group, can't thank them enough. They've been riding with us all season. They've been riding with LSR TV all season too. TomDenshawAutoGroup.com. Man, if you ever they got inventory, just go look at trucks, want to buy a truck, want to browse trucks, go to their website, check it out. They've got 100% online transactions. And then there's LSR TV. I say it every time, but it's so true. Samuel and Wesley, you guys are rock stars. And when it comes to productions, I honestly believe Cody's the best in the business, man. You guys are awesome, and can't thank you enough.
Jeff Stabnow, he'll settle for third here tonight. And, of course, now he'll have to either win or try to just have a stellar points performance to advance into the round of 8 next week from Atlanta. Second spot in the race goes to Justin Yee. His teammate, Lake Peterson, he already has the green bar, advancing into the championship round of 8 after Atlanta. After winning, of course, the Indy Road Course event a few weeks ago. Justin, your take of the race and surviving here and getting second tonight.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good run, all things considered. Track position was really key on that second run, and being stupid on the first run really cost me a lot of that. If I was driving the way that I was driving the second run on the first run, I could have maybe held first and maybe held Caden off. Would have been interesting to see. But I thought it was a pretty good run. I like getting the pole. That's always nice, and running up front. And pretty clean race, too. Just a pretty enjoyable race.
Yeah, Justin, I mean, you did a great job that you had. Now with the rest of, going into next week at Atlanta, how are you feeling about that race?
I hate these cars a mile and a half, so probably not that good. Oh, yeah, I think we did pretty good the last time we came around here, so maybe it'll be good. I don't know. We'll have to do some practicing to find out.
Well, Justin, obviously you are not racing for the championship. You're just running for wins, man. How hungry are you to finally get that win on the series, but also respect the other drivers that are around you that are racing for a championship?
Yeah, I mean, I just try to race how I always race. I don't really like wrecking people in the first place, so I don't think any of that's going to be an issue. I think I got into Dan once earlier in the season, and I felt pretty bad about that, but that's about how I roll. If I'm around you, I'm probably gonna hold you up, but I'm not gonna wreck you.
All right, man. It's on to Atlanta. Are you going to be there? Thank your sponsors in closing.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Tom Denshaw Auto Group and also my team and Jesse, owner of the Skeet Fleet. And yeah, we'll be here next race and try to get the W.
All right, that's Justin Yee, the number 66 machine, the car, Talladega Nights. He's got.
Oh yeah, I forgot to switch that paint.
He does. Yeah, he got car on there, so for sure. There you go. He'll finish in the runner-up position here tonight in second position. Let's go to Victory Lane. Another win for this driver at Yakima, Washington, the Harvest Chevrolet number 37. Caden Anderson, you was also my pick to win. Congratulations, bud. On to the round of 8. The pressure, was there any what went through your mind knowing you got a win to advance and you did that? Was you worried? Was there stress? What was it like?
No, there was no worry. When I come and race this series, whether it's for points or championships or not, I come to race to win. So, that's all I try to do. So there is no stress. I try to win every race, and that's all I can do.
Yeah, I mean, Caden, certainly an amazing run for yourself. Was there any type of just wanting, I mean, yes, you wanted to get the win, but how much more did you want it here tonight after the way that the Indy Oval finished?
It's kind of crazy how things pan out. I think we had the best car there at the end in Indianapolis, and we ended up not getting the win. And I come here tonight, I was working my real car, so I got 0 practice. And I don't think we had the best car tonight, but we pulled out the win. So it's kind of weird how things work out, but I'm just happy that it all worked out and was able to get redemption.
So, Caden, this race tonight, man, pretty much did you play your cards right? Just be in the right place at the right time. Obviously, running down Brightsman was pretty heated a couple of times. The pit stop strategy worked in your favor as well. Do you think that was the turning point that put you into victory lane tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first run, because I didn't have any practice, I think the first run I burned my tires up a little bit. And then we come in under caution, and I don't know if they messed up their pit stop or something, but we just had a perfect pit stop. I came up with the lead. And from lap one of the restart, I was saving my tires. And Sean was trying to fight me pretty hard there, but I saved my tires from the beginning, and I think that's what helped me ultimately towards the end of the race.
Well, man, final question for you. Knowing that you are running for a championship and you're in the round of 8, what do you think it's going to be like going in with the other competition, the guys you're facing here in the next week or two?
No, I think it's going to be tough, like any other series. We got a lot of good guys here in this group, so we're just going to do what we do and go out and try to win every race.
All right, buddy. Sponsors.
Yeah, I want to thank Harvest Chevrolet, Studio 10 Wraps, and then you guys for hosting all this.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much. Again, Caden Anderson picking up the win here tonight. The Iowa Corn 165. We'll take a quick break, have a word from our sponsor. That is, of course, Tom Denschel Automotive Group, and we will wrap it up from Iowa when we return.
An automobile purchase shouldn't be hard. The hardest part for the consumer in the whole process should be selecting the vehicle. We have the online credit application. We can bring the car to you to see it, to test drive it, to deliver it. We have all the tools in place, and we've had them in place for a long time. I just think now we've perfected it. It's become part of our culture. We've, kind of taken it to the next level. It is easy, and it should be easy, and it should be fun, and it shouldn't take a whole lot of time.
And we welcome you back to coverage here from the Iowa Speedway. Samuel, we saw a pretty interesting race. It had its excitement of cautions along the way. Fairly clean. I was very impressed for that matter. But, of course, the bold strategy of Caden Anderson back against the wall, doing what he needed to do. He did it, played his cards right, and now he is racing for a championship. But for guys that are outside the top 12, outside the top 8 for that matter, 4 drivers are going to be eliminated next week at Atlanta. Your thoughts on tonight as we get ready for Atlanta next week?
Yeah, I mean, re-looking at the race, I think the move of the race has to be the halfway point when we saw Caden Anderson beat out Sean Brightsman at pit road. That was the move that gave Caden Anderson the fresh air, where he was able to hold off everyone that was using up all their stuff, and they just could not get by the 37. Proving, got fresh air. You got a great shot at winning this race.
I think it's all about taping the grill. And I think that really changed the outcome of this race for sure. You saw how it was all tapered up on the spacer, making it where, it causes that downforce. And I know that this is not a real race, but you mimic it like it's the real thing. But you see the tape on the grill, and I mentioned that, Samuel, several times. That is working on downforce. That's allowing the air to get to the front and have it run smooth. You got to be out in front of clean air, because if you're not, your car's got a risk of overheating. Caden Anderson knew that. He played his cards right, strategy on the track. He was able to get around through the leaders and the lap traffic, quickly back to clean air. When the checkered flag fell, he picks up the win tonight.
Yeah, I just want to say the tape on the grill was not really a factor at all for this race. It was really about the tires for this race that the drivers had to worry about. The tape really wasn't a factor at all, but it does look nice on the sim, but yeah, it was not a factor at all. And now looking at this win that Caden Anderson got, the points are completely shuffled up. Drivers that thought they were comfortable coming into tonight now in risk. O'Hare, Ryan Bloom, 2 drivers that are right at the bubble spot and now have to worry about possibly getting knocked out of the points by a Sean Brightsman or even by BJ Tidrick. It really matters on how well you're running going into Atlanta.
What do you think we're going to see in closing at Atlanta coming up next Monday and Wednesday night for the Cup and Truck Series for the Northwest, Samuel?
I mean, it's got the nickname Hot Atlanta. It's going to be slick. Drivers going to be slipping and sliding. It's going to be about holding onto that car as much as you can and hope that you can make it to the end of the race. And I think drivers that are loving a slick machine and feeling really loose, that's where they are going to be having a joy in their wheelhouse at Atlanta.
I passed by there today coming back from Talladega or coming back from Alabama driving all day, and I'm definitely tired, definitely ready to just hit the bed and go to sleep. But definitely it should be a fun time. Don't forget the Iowa Corn 165 for the trucks. Their fate will be determined also in Atlanta next week, but it's on to Iowa coming up on Wednesday night. We'll have it for you. And as always, Samuel, I think the best of the best, the cream of the crop. One more question before I let you go. Jeff Stabnow, do you think the man's on a mission? Do you think he can punch himself into the playoffs next week in Atlanta by either winning or by trying to do what he needs to do like tonight, points racing?
A win would be massive for this 2014, but the mile and a half has been where we've seen the most bad luck strike Jeff Stabnow. If he really needs this bad luck to just get off of him, have a great run. Coming into next week, he's going to be about 6 to 7 points out, so he's still got a lot of work to do. He needs a lot of drivers in front of him to have bad luck, but that's exactly what we've been seeing. Ryan Bloom, Stephen O'Hare didn't have the great runs that they needed. And if they do a similar thing at Atlanta, they could find their way out of the top 8.
We'll do it again on Wednesday. Thank you, Samuel Dyer. One more look at Iowa Speedway in the heartland of the virtual iRacing simulator of Iowa. And when it's all said and done, Caden Anderson on to the round of 8, regardless of what goes on at Atlanta or Hotlanta, as my colleague Samuel just referred to. We hope you've enjoyed it. We'll have coverage on Wednesday night on LSR TV and the Community Radio Network. Same time of the Northwest Cup Truck Series on Wednesday and the Iowa Corn 165 as well. For LSR TV and Rocket Media, of course, LiveSimRacing.com and we are CRN.com. For Samuel Dyer, I'm Wesley Outland. Congratulations, Caden Anderson. Yakima, Washington, under the gun. Had to win after a suspension. He's done it tonight at Iowa, and he goes on to the round of 8. Be good to one another, and thank you for watching and listening